It's the most normal thing to be triggered by rejection and abandonment. It's the most natural thing to be concerned when someone you have an attachment to is signaling to you that they are going to detach from you. Hey y'all, welcome to Boundaries and Grace. My name is Taylor Chandler. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, helping you break negative relationship patterns by shifting your attachment style. First, I need to say this, okay? When we're talking about triggers, we're talking about how you handle threat. Okay, at this point, our relational threats trigger your nervous system just like a physical threat might trigger your nervous system. Okay, you might have heard of fight, flight at this point, right? Fight, flight, and even freeze. That's defining the way that your nervous system reacts when a threat is presented. Rejection and abandonment are our two big threats. And somebody just dropped that in the comments, rejection and abandonment. And there are many different ways that signal to us that we are being rejected or abandoned. Everyone is triggered. Hear me. Everyone is triggered by rejection and abandonment. The threat that someone that you have an attachment to is going to leave you. That doesn't sit well with anybody. The difference is how you manage the trigger when it happens. Make sense? So it's not strange. It's the most normal thing, okay? It's the most normal thing to be triggered by rejection and abandonment. You hear me? It's the most natural thing to be concerned when someone you have an attachment to is signaling to you that they are going to detach from you. It's the most normal thing to be triggered by that. So if you got that, can you just let me know? You know, I like interaction. I need a little bit of response. Okay. It's the most normal thing. Now, what is dysfunctional? And let me actually back up. I kind of like that I get to go through this content again today because I get to say or go through some things that I didn't say yesterday. The functional part of that, I want you to understand this. There is a functionality to having a reaction, a response to that. When someone that you have an attachment to is moving away from you, there's a function to that. And it's about achieving safety. When I notice that someone that I have an attachment to, someone that I'm relying on, depending on, is moving away from me, I react because there's something about this person that gives me a sense of safety. So there's a function to it. There's a benefit to having a reaction, to noticing when someone that is close to me is moving away from me, because I'm trying to gain stability. The dysfunction is how I try to get that stability. The dysfunction is perceiving threats that really aren't threats. I'm having a subjective experience. It's because of what's going on in me and how I'm seeing this interaction that is making me react this way. It's not actually what you're intending to do. It's not actually what's happening. Let me give you an example to make it make sense. Samoneone is taking a nap. This happens to people every single day. Someone's taking a nap and they said, I'm going to hit you up after I take a nap. And they took longer, they napped for longer than you thought and that they thought. If I have, let's say, an anxious attachment, and I don't hear from you when I expected to hear from you, it makes sense. First part, it makes sense that I would feel something about that. Something is signaling that something's wrong. That's the functional part of it. There's something's going on. I need more information. The dysfunctional part of reacting to that trigger is that I do have some past experiences. If you're anxiously attached, you have some past experiences that are telling you that maybe this is the end. They're never coming back. They've blocked you. They've left you. They're sleeping with somebody else. The dysfunctional part is projecting my own experience onto the present. And I'm jumping to a conclusion without communicating, without actually being curious about what's really going on. Does that make sense, y'all? So there's a functional part of saying there's something going on. I need more information. The dysfunctional part is like the degree of your reaction, the projection in your reaction, and compulsive reactions. Like there's no thought time between the incident that happens, the communication lapse, and the way that you reacted to it. When we are triggered, especially when we're talking about attachment and your relationships, when you're triggered, your sense of safety is being threatened. And I'm trying to eliminate that threat.